Welcome to week 2 of Biblical Perspectives and Human Relations and Counseling. This week we're going to begin studying about diversity that you might have in your school, classroom, in your church, but definitely in your community. America has always been a diverse nation, and it seems we're becoming even more so. A lot of the things that are talked about in this book certainly don't keep up with the times, and they are not biblical philosophy based at all, but they do give us a basic understanding of others, which is what we need in order to be a good witness. The minority population in America is expected to rise to 56% of the population by 2060. That means there will be no majority population. Last year, the minority population was 38%. When it does rise to 56% of the population, we'll have a plurality of racial and ethnic groups. And the minority-majority trend that's reflected now among 5-year-olds is the beginning of that shift, according to the U.S. Census. We're a much more diverse country than we were. Professor Andrew Cherlin, a sociologist at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, says, and groups in America are mixing much more than we think. Intermarriage is increasing, and a record 14.6% of all new marriages in the United States in 2008 were between people of two different races or ethnicities. The children of these couples reflect America's changing demographics, and multiracial children of black and white descent were the largest group in 2014, making up 30% of the multiracial population under 18. 2 or more races population is going to be the fastest growing group over the next 46 years, and its population is expected to triple in size. In Genesis 1:28, God told Adam and Eve to be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. And as you read through the Bible up through Genesis 11, you'll know that they did not do that. They were fruitful and multiplied, but they did not replenish the earth, because in Genesis 11:9, the Tower of Babel, that's where God separated the people by confounding their language and caused them to travel over the whole earth. And even though they did, we are still one race, not many races. The first 3 chapters of our textbook focus on being able to know and serve the family. It talks about equal protection, systems for knowing families. As you read these chapters, think about the various ethnic groups in your classroom and how their values, their culture, and their reactions to you might differ from what you expect based on what you learn about these families and the people groups. Think about your own concept of family and how that concept might be challenged by your community or your students' families. This is a picture of my family, my husband and myself, our 2 daughters, our 2 sons, and their families. Chapters 4 through 9 focus on people groups or ethnic diversity among American families. We're not going to read chapter 9, that's on the Amish, but we will be reading chapters 4 through 8. Pay attention in each chapter to the similarities and differences between the people groups. Note where you disagree, where you're challenged, and why. Remember that each of these people groups come from our common ancestor Adam, and we're made in God's image. Also, remember, the more you understand someone, the easier it is to share the gospel with him or her. Think about how those similarities and differences are going to affect the children in your classroom, how they treat you, how they do their homework. Will the values of each people group affect what gets accomplished by your students? What about arranging meetings with your parents? Think about the roles that people play in the home. Are those going to make a difference? Think about your stereotypes and your preconceived ideas of family. Those will be challenged. In the upper right, we have someone's ancestors. Underneath them is a picture of my husband and myself. And then you have a picture of a family, each completing their duties at home. You need to start this week working on your community analysis project. This project is going to be completed in 2 parts. The first part is going to be due at the end of next week, or the Monday of next week, and the second part will be due the week after that. I've included everything in the course document so that you may go ahead and look this up and get started working on it right away. You have two big projects in this class. You have this one, and then you have a personal case analysis that you're going to be completing.